All right, so if you have started your journey into sourdoughness, you have noticed that in feeding your sourdough starter, you end up with more starter every time, and you're either gonna have to throw it out, which is called discard, or find other things to do with it. One of the other things to do with it is to make sourdough pancakes, which is another lesson of ours, and another way is to preserve it. I love yeast. We need to feed it before we preserve it. So the first step is you gotta give it some food. I like to use all-purpose flour to feed. I like to save the bread flour for the actual baking of the bread and use up all the I like to use up all the all-purpose flour for the feeding part. You like to have a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio of weight, starter to flour to water. So by measurement, you're gonna have a little bit less water than you have flour. But this is like a cup. Put that in there, and I'm gonna put a little bit less than a cup of water in there. Non-chlorinated water. Put it in there, whoop. Mix it up. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on this because this could explode. Not like literally explode, like combustion explode, but it could overflow. Because this is gonna double in size. I'm gonna have to split this up into 2 different jars. Hold on.
Food for me? My name is Mel Jades. Food for me?
So this is an example of why we need to try and preserve yeast, because when I feed it, it gets bigger. It's growing, it's alive. So I will put some in this jar. If you put it in the fridge, you gotta feed it once a week. If you leave it out, you gotta feed it every day. It's actually supposed to be not airtight, so you can allow it to breathe. So I'm taking that off to give it some breathing room. And I like to save the little blue rubber bands from when we get vegetables to mark the levels. So this guy is going to go into the fridge for the next week. Enjoy yourself. And this is gonna be the one that we watch. And we will see once it gets to about here, it's ready to rock. Sometimes I'll stir it to like let the carbon dioxide release. If it's too thin, the bubbles are just gonna escape and it's not gonna rise. So I like to make my little yeast mixture on the thicker side so I can really see it grow. Okay, so we fed this yeast, it rose. I stirred it up to let the carbon dioxide out and give it some more oxygen, and then it rose again. It's kind of fallen again, but it's ready to rock. You should smell it. Smells like bananas. It's a good sign. Stir it up, and now I'm just going to, this is parchment paper that I'm reusing. I've dried yeast in this multiple times. You take out a big glob of it. Bloop. You just smear it on there. You want to be part of this? This isn't for you to eat, though it does smell suspiciously good. And so you're just going to smear it as thin as you can. Don't get too close to the edges because it is going to like squish out a little bit. I'm gonna put the other paper on top, and then you just smear it out. There you go. Once you smear it all out like this, next you just gotta like leave it out for like a day, and it should dry out. This is what the yeast looks like after we've let it out to dry for a while. Once it's rigid like this, it's ready to rock. So you break it up, and then take the top piece off. I like to put my hand along it like this because it just keeps it from sticking to the top paper. Okay, so I reuse this, so I'm gonna put this over here. Oh my God. And you're gonna take all these little gold member flakes.
I love gold!
And put them in the jar. Ooh, yeah, just go to your home. Now some people like to blend them up to make it into a powder. I like to crush them. I crush. I've heard other people, other instructionals I've watched say like you can put it in a NutriBullet and powder it up or whatever, but where's the fun on that? All right, that's about ready to preserve. I'm gonna put this in the freezer. Actually, while I'm over there, I'm gonna grab you a finished jar and show you what it looks like. So here's an example of a finished jar. This is from Piranha, as you can tell by the drawing. Piranha's named after the little plants that spit fireballs in Mario. This will be good for up to a year. have a yeasty day. How do I sign off? Yeah. I love yeast. I don't know what to tell you. This is a hobby that seems very odd until you try it, and then you will probably love it because it's really, really fun. It's like growing millions of tiny little friends that you can stick in the freezer and recruit them to make you food and throw them in the oven and eat them and let them live inside you. Oh, yeast. So fun.